Hey friends, it's Miss Leslie, and today we're back for some more video lessons. Last week we talked about Earth Day. It was Earth's birthday, and we talked about some things that we could do to make our Earth better. And Earth is one of our planets. So this week we're actually going to be talking about the solar system. I'm mainly focusing on our planets today, but our solar system is made out of lots of things, not only planets, but it's also made out of comets and moons, gas, and dust as well. So along with the planets, there's lots of other things out in outer space that make up our solar system. But we have 8 planets. Well, originally we had 9 planets, but now we only have 8. And all of our planets, and as a matter of fact, everything out in the solar system revolves around the sun. So our sun is our most important thing out there. It's the biggest, and it's our biggest star as well. Did you guys know that? The sun is one of our biggest stars. Even though it doesn't look like our other stars in the sky, it is actually a star. And without the sun, our planets wouldn't be able to be in the solar system and float in a line, because the gravity from the sun is what keeps them afloat. The sun is actually what keeps us alive too. If the sun did not exist, we would not exist. We absolutely need the sun. The sun is one of the most essential things that we need to keep us alive. If we didn't have the sun, we wouldn't have the warmth, which means that we would probably freeze to death because it would be so cold. What else needs the sun? If you guessed plants, you're right. The plants need the sun. If we didn't have the sun, we wouldn't have our plants. We wouldn't have food to eat either. Vegetables or fruits need the sun to grow. We wouldn't have our trees. And what does our trees give us? That's right, air. Trees give us the air that we breathe. So if without the sun, we wouldn't have anything. So we absolutely need the sun to keep us alive. After the sun, once we leave the sun behind, we have 8 planets. There used to be 9, but now we only have 8 because Pluto is a dwarf planet, but we'll touch a little bit more on that later. So first we have Mercury, and Mercury is the closest planet to the sun. It's kind of grayish in color, and it's one of the smallest planets as well. Even though it's closest to the sun, it is not the hottest of the planets, and it actually has no air. So if you wanted to go visit Mercury, you absolutely wouldn't be able to visit Mercury, not only because there's no air, but because it is so hot. So there's absolutely nothing that could live on the sun or go near the sun. It'll melt anything that tries to go there. That's why nothing has ever visited the sun, because it is way too hot. If you thought the last few days were hot on Earth, imagine on the sun. It's way hotter than any of the planets are. And it actually, Mercury takes 88 days to go around the sun. It's the one that goes around the sun the fastest because it's the smallest. Earth takes 365 days, which is 1 full year, to go around the sun. And Mercury only takes 88. Okay, so that's very fast. After we have Venus, and Venus is the second planet away from the sun, and it's our brightest one. Sometimes you can see it in the sky without a telescope, and you can confuse it for a star because it's so bright. It is the hottest one because it has something that's called carbon dioxide gas that helps trap the heat inside of the planet, which makes it the hottest, even though it's not the closest to the sun. And it also has volcanoes on it, which is really cool. Next is, can you guys guess this one here? Earth! Yay! We love Earth! Why do we love Earth? That's right, because Earth is the planet that we live on. And Earth is not only the planet that we live on, but it's the only planet that anything lives on. On all of our other planets, there is no life. Okay, so no one has been able to record any life out there. Even though we've been able to visit another planet, we have never been able to find life on another planet. So we are the only planet that has water, that has plants, that has animals, that has anything else that is living on it. So that makes us extra special. And it's actually called sometimes the Goldilocks planet, because you know how Goldilocks and the Three Bears, she tries one porridge, she tries the other one and it's not right. The third one is just right? And then she tries the chair, she tries the beds until she finds the right one. They call it the Goldilocks planet because they say that Earth is not too hot and it is not too cold. That's why we are able to live on it. Okay, and then we have Mars. Mars is my favorite planet. Can anybody guess why Mars is my favorite planet? I wonder why. And Mars is my favorite planet because it's the color red. And red is my favorite planet. And it's said to be the color red because it has something that's like rust in the air. And if you ever see rust, it's kind of like a reddish color. If you see rust on anything that's made out of iron outside, it's kind of a reddish color, and that's what gives it its red color. It also has a volcano called Olympus Mons on it, which is really cool. And Mars is the only other planet that people have been able to visit. There's actually talk about scientists thinking that maybe, just maybe, with some special equipment, we would be able to live on Mars. How cool would that be? To be able to live on Mars. That would be the coolest thing ever. So there's robots that have gone and visited that are studying the atmosphere and bringing back information to our scientists that are allowing us to study whether or not people someday might be able to live on it. How cool. After that, we have Jupiter, and Jupiter is our biggest planet. Okay, it's not only our biggest planet, but it's known as a gas giant because it's made out of all gas. It has 67 moons. We only have one moon, and Jupiter has 67 moons. How cool is that? And they're all different sizes and shapes. And it has a red storm. If you see it, it has a red spot in the middle, and that is a big storm that has been going on for 200 years. Can you imagine that? A storm going on for 200 years. We have rain here for one day and we don't know what to do. Imagine that storm going on for 200 years. Wowzers, that's amazing. After that, we have Saturn, another special one. Does anybody know what's special about Saturn? Anybody? If you said that it has a ring around it, you're absolutely right. Saturn has a ring around it. That's the only planet that has the ring, or at least visible to our eyes, that we can see. It is the lightest planet. If you were actually to find something that's big enough, or a bathtub, a pool that's big enough to put the planet in, it would float because it's so light. So heavy things sink and light things float. So this one would float, and its ring is made out of ice and dust, which is really cool. Then we have Uranus, which is known as our icy planet, and it is also made out of gas, and it actually spins sideways. So instead of spinning around this way, it actually spins around the long way. It's the only planet that does that. And it takes 164 years to go around the sun. We said Earth takes 365 days to go around the sun. And we said that Mercury takes 88 days to go around the sun. So Mercury is the one that goes the fastest. And poor Uranus takes 164 years to go around the sun. Nobody would even be alive that many days to be able to see it go around the sun one time. That's way too many times. And then after that, we have the last one, 8th planet away from the sun, which is the coldest one and the furthest from the sun, and it's a darker blue. And then very last, we have itty bitty tiny Pluto. And once upon a time, Pluto was a planet, but scientists started to study it, and they saw that it was so tiny kind of like a rock, and there was other planets that were much bigger around it that they called it a dwarf planet, which lets us know that once upon a time it was a planet, but it's very, very small, so it's not a planet anymore. So now instead of having 9 planets, we only have 8 planets. So we have Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. So those are our 8 planets that make up our solar system. And remember, there's other things that make up solar system, like dwarf planets. There's and moons, stars, dust, all sorts of things, meteors that shoot very fast. But we're focusing on the planets today. So those are our planets. You guys can study them and memorize them. And then we'll do a quick little arts and craft having to do with the planets, so we can make our very own planet. You don't need very much. All you need is some paint, paper, a black sheet of paper, a brush, some scissors, so you can go ahead and cut out our planet. So I'm going to, here, on a white sheet of paper, I made a circle, and that's what we're gonna cut out as our planet. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead, and you can make a shape, you can trace something if you want, or you can just hand draw it into a circle, and then just go ahead and cut it out. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut out our circle. So there's our planet. It's gonna be Mars, because I love Mars, but you can make it any color planet that you'd like. You can make up your very own planet if you want, if you don't want to have one like our 8 planets that we have. So I'm just gonna make ours red, okay? And I have another sheet of paper that after we can go ahead and glue on our planet so it looks like it's outside in our solar system in outer space. Okay, so I have some red paint, I have some white paint, and I have some black paint because I'm gonna use red, but I'm gonna create a lighter shade of red using white and a darker shade of red using black. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just going to mix it on a little piece of paper, or if you have a plate, you can go ahead and you can mix it on a plate as well. So I'm just gonna put some paint on it. And I'm gonna grab my brush. Oop, there's my arm, sorry. My paintbrush. And I'm just gonna dip my brush into the paint. And I'm gonna paint my planet. Okay. And remember what we say about art, no right or wrong. So you can do it however you like. I kind of like the streakiness of it like this, that you can see. So I'm gonna kind of leave it that way. Right? You can add as much or as little paint as you like. Look at that, it already looks like a planet. I didn't even have to do anything to it. Okay. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to add just a tad, very, very little. I'm gonna make it lighter first. So I'm gonna add a little bit of white. Sorry, my planet fell. Got it back. You're gonna add a little bit of white to it. And it's going to make it a lighter shade of red. Does anybody know what a lighter shade of red is? Yeah, kind of like pink. If you add white to red, it makes a pink shade. Okay, so there's a lighter shade of red. And I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add a little bit of that into my planet. You guys see that? You see that? Making sure you I'm getting all the white. Okay. And then so you can see the darker shade of red, the original shade. You can see the wider one, right? And then I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add a little bit of black to that too to make it a shade darker, because with black we make colors darker. With white we make them lighter. With black we make them darker. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna mix a little bit, making it a little bit darker. I just mixed it right on my paper. I'll show you guys. So here's the side where I made it lighter by adding white, and there's the side where I'm adding black, and I'm just mixing it a little bit so it's a darker shade of red. And you just need very little black. I actually added too much, but that's okay. You see that? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to paint on my planet with a darker shade of red now. See that? And you just need very little black to make it darker, okay? How cool is that? And then I have some glitter, some red glitter here that you can just go ahead and you can dust on right onto your planet. If you have glitter at home, you can just open it and you can dust on, or you can put jewels on it if you want. I know some of you guys have jewels at home. And if it doesn't stick to your paint, you can go ahead and you can add a little glue if your paint is not wet. Okay, just dab it on. And there you have your planet with some glitter on it too. Isn't that cool? And remember, you can make it any color you'd like. It could be your very own made up planet. It doesn't have to be Mars, and it doesn't have to be one that is in actually our solar system. So you guys can go ahead and do that. Study our solar system. Send me a picture of your planets. Tell me maybe something that lives on it. If there's any aliens or space monsters on there. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'll see you guys next for a little science experiment with planets. I love you guys. Remember to always send pictures. I love to see all of your guys' creative work. I love you guys. See you. Bye.